Taylor. Do you guys know who David Taylor is, Penn State? David Taylor is awesome. If there's a tournament that any wrestler has ever dreamed of winning, David had those same dreams, and David's won it. Most of them more than once. And he's the Olympic champion, defending and reigning. He is getting ready for this summer's Olympics. He's at the trials right now. He is currently, per the rankings, supposed to not only make the team, but to win the gold. That would make him a two-time Olympic gold medalist. If I was to compare that to somebody that Kayla Harrison, it's a great example. Great example because Kayla had no other martial arts. But she had those two medals and was given a very meaningful opportunity. Another great example, because there's not a lot of two-time Olympic champions out there. Like, there's not a lot of Olympic champions, but a two-time. It goes into an even rarer category. You have separated yourself, and it's one of these things that you could be given more opportunity. Clarissa Shields, two-time Olympic champion, and she was shown the red carpet by multiple organizations, which she had never stepped in the ring before for MMA. She had never done any other martial arts. She didn't delve into wrestling or play around with jiu-jitsu here or there. She had only boxed. Very similar to what Kayla had done. They had both won 2 gold medals, and they both started day one way ahead of anybody else that started on day one. But we can also argue their day one isn't quite from scratch, right? They've mastered a field. They've demonstrated their ability for strategy, for the grind, for hard work, for competing when the lights are on, for making weight, for travel. They've demonstrated these things. And they were shown a respect for it. So, David Taylor has put out a statement that he is interested in mixed martial arts, that the door is open. Now, I have known about David's interest for a period of time. In fact, I invited him to come and join me December 16th. That would have been Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington. I invited David to come join me and wanted to then introduce him to the world through the cameras. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now joined by David Taylor. This is what I wanted to do because I knew that David had an interest. I know he's been in the gym. I know that he's been training MMA. But I also know that his focus, that was just like for conditioning and to have fun. That was just to break up the monotony. Because the focus is still the Olympic Games, going through the process and ultimately getting the medal, which is a very difficult thing to do, whether you're favored to do it or not. And one more thing that David Taylor has over everybody else is he is currently ranked number 1 pound for pound. He is believed to be the current pound for pound best. Now, how do you have those things help you, right? And that's something, by the way, that Clarissa Shields also had amongst women, and Kayla also had amongst the judo women. So we've now got 3 categories, and it's going to be very hard to find anybody else with this. 2 Olympic gold medals and a GOAT status. Like, it's going to be a very, very difficult thing to find anyone else. I bring that because no one knows where that pound for pound list is, including me. I read it and just cited it. I can't remember where I read it. Nobody knows about the Olympic Championships. Nobody knows about, like, it's one of those things. You're not bringing an audience with you, so it is a little bit different thing, right? Like, if we get every judo player in the world to come live and watch Kayla fight, we don't fill up a single arena that's ever been played. If we get every boxing fan in the world that watched Clarissa win gold medal 1 or 2, we don't fill up a single arena that's ever been played. And the same would go for wrestling, sadly. But, boy, when we've gotten those athletes, we gave them back nice and shiny, didn't we? I mean, Alex Pierre, who came from the kickboxing world, or even Israel Adesanya, who came from the kickboxing world, fought at a maximum in front of 3,600 people. And those 3,600 did not come with them. They weren't loyal. They didn't follow them. They're not cheering. Oh my goodness, kickboxing is back. They did none of those things. But we took them, and if we were to give them back, Piera and Adesanya could have fought and won a world title in kickboxing. And anybody that wants an autograph, line up. And it wanted to hit the door. They could just show up to an event now, a kickboxing event. They could just show up as a guest, and that line will wrap around the door. So, be a great opportunity for wrestling as I see it. I would like that opportunity to be given to David Taylor. I think if anybody deserves it, and if anybody could make the most of it. But Daniel Cormier came out. He's friends with David Taylor. He's a supporter of David. He just said, David, stay in wrestling. And my entire diatribe up until this point, the whole point of everything I just gave you for over 5 minutes was to let you know that if David does come over and he does decide to step in, he not only deserves a place in line, he deserves to cut the line. To an extent, he deserves to cut the line. To an extent, he is, I hope, the same opportunity. And Dana had offered this to Clarissa Shields. Clarissa Shields in MMA was Dana's idea. Even though he didn't get her, Dana's the one that opened the door for that. And Dana was going to allow her a contract, though she had never done it. And the last time I can recall that Dana gave a contract to somebody who had never done it was BJ Penn. So Dana got it right. And I would hope that that same thing would be shown to David Taylor. And if I'm right and that's what David wants to do, then I'm all for it. And when Daniel Cormier said no, stay with wrestling, my question becomes why? And Daniel stated because, you got to be a little bit crazy to be in there. You got to be a little bit off. And David Taylor's none of those things. He's the world's nicest guy. Well, yeah, that might be what it appears. But he is a ferocious, cold-blooded competitor. Period. He's looking to come into MMA right now at 185 pounds. Oh, by the way, do you want to know who he beat for the Olympic team? His teammate, his friend, Bo Nickel. So you might think, so what? You might think, so what? But if Mr. Nice Guy is such a nice guy, why is he coming over here to the very field that his teammate and his friend is making his waves in? Unless he's willing, should he be asked, to go fisticuffs with his very friend. And I only bring that up because he is, but it kind of changes that nice guy narrative just a touch, doesn't it? You can be a very nice guy, but you can also be a ferocious competitor. To be a champion, it's not just good qualities, hard work and discipline and faith and parents that backed you up. There's also some very dark qualities. You must, to be a champion, have a black heart. Your opponent's dreams and his sacrifices mean nothing to you compared to your own desires. Those are not positive qualities, not generally speaking, not ones the teachers tell you about, not one your coaches strive for, not one that your parents tell you, you got to have a black heart there, Junior, or you'll never make it. So I only share for you that yes, David is a very nice guy, and Bo's a very nice guy, and Daniel's a very nice guy. And if David was to come over, who makes good money in wrestling? This guy is a star. He's, oh my God, I love watching David wrestle so much. But I would just share for you, and there is money. He's got good sponsorships. So he is one of the wrestlers that could stay in wrestling. That's true. But after you win your second Olympic gold medal, then you're not going to win a third. It's like anything else in life, right? At some point, you have to transition and move on. And if Daniel believes that David should stay in wrestling because at 32 years old, he doesn't have enough time to start and work his way up, that he'll be 35, 36 by the time he's discovered. Most other guys take 4 to 5 years to be discovered and to make it. Like, if we're going off of that, I would fully understand the point. But if it was an opportunity for Clarissa, if it was an opportunity for Kayla, 2 gold medals is sure rare. And if that was the situation, I hope that you guys will back me on this. But not only should David have a place in line, David should be able to cut the line.